Okay, so we're going to look at the elements of drama and some notes that we can take for that. So this is going to be in a blank page in your composition book. So when I talk about drama, I'm talking about the genre of literature that has to do with plays. So there's a brain pop that we watched in class that dealt with the beginning of drama. And here's where our notes start. So first, a drama is a story that is written to be performed by actors for an audience. Anything that is written for performance falls into this category. The three main types are plays, screenplays, and teleplays. So things that are written to be performed on stage are plays. Screenplays are written to be performed by actors and filmed as a movie. And a teleplay is written to be performed by actors and filmed for television. The purpose of all of these is to entertain an audience. When we talk about drama, there are certain terms that we're going to talk about. The first one is a playwright. That one's easy to remember. A playwright writes a play. It's simply the author of a play. If we're talking about a novel, we use the word author. If we're talking about a poem, we use the word poet. A playwright is the author of a play. The people who perform are the actors. And then when we talk about a play, it's broken into different units of action. There are acts and scenes. Generally, there are two acts in a play. They are the main units of action. They have like an overarching story that all go together for an act. In the acts, they're broken down into parts of the acts, which are called scenes. There can be any number of scenes in a play. Generally, a scene changes whenever the setting changes. Okay, characterization is super important in a play because the playwright has to have a different type of technique for making believable characters. You can't just tell us as a playwright something that the character is doing. You have to actually have the character perform it or act it. So, making believable characters is how we have characterization. And they do that mainly with dialogue, which is on our next slide. An author will tell a story mainly through a narrator and some description and dialogue between characters, but a playwright tells a story primarily through the dialogue of the characters. Dialogue is just a conversation between two or more characters. And dialogue is super important because that's mainly what a play is completely written in. It's responsible for revealing the characters and carrying the story forward. So, dialogue normally is in quotation marks, but not so in a play. In a play, it looks very different. Playwrights can also use what's known as a soliloquy, which is a speech that's delivered by one character while he or she is alone on stage. We can't hear what the characters are thinking or feeling like we can read it in a story. So, this is a technique used by the playwright to give the audience an idea about what the character is thinking or feeling. They're on stage by themselves, they're talking, they're kind of sharing their thoughts. Okay, so dialogue, as I said before, appears without quotation marks. If we look, we have Mrs. Brand, Steve, and Mrs. Brand here again. It tells us who is speaking, two characters. The name tells you who's talking. You have to keep track of those characters because their words are important clues to their personalities. You may also notice the italicized words. Those are stage directions. From her porch, raising his voice and looking toward the porch. Stage directions are where lines have italicized words and phrases that show what is happening in the scene. When a play is performed, the stage directions are not said out loud. However, when you're reading a play, you need to read those stage directions because they're telling us the action, they're telling us what's happening. Okay? And in this one, Mary says she agrees with you, but the stage directions say she really doesn't. So it helps you understand her feelings as well as events that may occur later. An actress or actor delivering this line would show that Mary doesn't mean what she says. They might pause before they speak, move in a way that's not sincere, maybe use a sarcastic tone. Always be alert to the stage directions. When you watch a play, pay attention to the action and the actor's movements. These are all important elements of drama that help convey meaning. So, short stories and dramas are similar and they are different. Some differences include the fact that short stories can be fiction or nonfiction, and they have dialogue that use quotation marks. In dramas, they're written for the stage, for the movies, for television, and they use stage directions, and they're written entirely with dialogue. However, both have a purpose to entertain, and they have characters, setting, and plot.